Well, the show has works from, well, there's works from 2005 all the way to 2013. So although there's not a lot of paintings, but I think it's a sort of a lovely platter of what happens in the studio and what the practice is all about, because it's been quite a few years now, and so it was very difficult to choose certain works for the exhibition. I mean, when I look at paintings that are 2005 paintings, I can see that these are paintings of someone less tainted and whipped by the hooks, the hooky whips of time. And so, of course, you see innocence, you see that, and you see, in a way, painterly freedom in terms of they're very, very loose. But as time goes by, the works become tighter and tighter and tighter, and more detailed, and in a way more complex. So I think it's lovely to see that journey from the Earthly Delights painting and the Sebastian of the Poppies painting, and they are facing each other in the gallery. So you have a work from 2005, and then you have a work which is 2013. And although they're both 5-foot tondos, you can see how the paintings have, in a way, changed in terms of the, you know, as time goes by. It is quite natural for things to become more and more sophisticated. I first came across this painting when I must have been, I think, 8 or 9 years old, and it was one of those things that appeared as a printed image, and it was quite a delight to realize. And I didn't know that the painting lives in Manchester, and it was absolutely fabulous to be able to converse with the painting and be able to display the painting in the same room as the original. So it's almost as if the Stubbs original work has, the characters have decided to come to the studio and gone through the so-called studio process. So in the original you do have the stag with the cheetah and 2 Indians, and it so happened that when my interpretation of the painting was happening, that the Indian servants self-combusted, and as you can see that they have left their turbans and their shoes behind, and the monkey there on the side is wearing one similar footwear as the Indian servants. And of course, it's taking the important elements and the stag and the cheetah, and that almost becomes the starting point and the background. And the characters came much later. And of course, it is fair to say that this is a sort of a lyrical parody of what happens to us. The main protagonist of this painting is the guy riding the cheetah, and he's wearing Ludwig of Bavaria's crown, and it is the Queen's scepter. And then we have the figure here who's actually wearing Queen Victoria's crown that was specially made for her with a Kohinoor diamond. The painting is talking to a lot of other paintings. The scene with the basket and the rug is sort of similar to Déjeuner sur l'herbe, and you have the rug that does talk to Carlo Crivelli's rug in the original painting, and also a nod to Orientalism. And of course there is the gherkin that does talk to the gherkin in the Crivelli painting. And then there are the turbans that were left behind by the Indian servants that the monkeys are wearing now. And it is also, it exists on 2 levels. The first is, of course, the painterly issues, the relationship between the background and the foreground, and how they talk to each other. It's also, it would be fair to say that it is a bit of a satire, like the rest of the paintings, on human society and the human condition in general. I thought that it would be a fun idea, because the whole idea is we had the swan, which was going to be shown in one of the niches in the gallery, and I thought that it would be a lovely idea if the essence of spring can somehow soften the architectural elements of the space. So, and also the show opens on Valentine's, and it's a lovely idea to have spring blooms and a bit of curly willow, which of course is a much tinier version of what's been happening in the studio over the years, because I haven't been on holiday for the last 15 years, and I do surround myself with a lot of flowers in the studio. So in a way, it is that sort of softness that it brings to the whole visual experience. It wasn't my choice to be a painter, and I do believe that it's a life dedicated to work, and it is the work that needs to be made. So looking at the group of works, it is not necessarily nostalgic, but thank God, you know, it's like I feel, well, the paintings are better now than they were a few years ago, and they are developing, because if that doesn't happen, I think it's a good idea to hang one's porcupine quills.